by
ServiceMaster Clean by Todd George. They are proud to be the only Green Seal certified janitorial service in Central Ohio and promise to do the job right or do it over. 740-687-1077.
Thompson Concrete, a full-service concrete company. Online at thompsonconcrete.com.
Fairfield Mini Storage is located on East Main Street in Lancaster, or find them online at ffministorage.com.
Discover your promise in academics, in athletics, or in theater at Ohio University Lancaster and Pickerington. Online at lancaster.ohiou.edu.
Let Matt Gray motivate you or your group for change. You can visit him online at maxspeaking.com.
InFocus Consulting, the data agency. Online at infocusconsulting.com.
Fairfield Christian Church, located near the River Valley Mall in Lancaster. Online at fairfieldcc.com.
The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home. Respect for tradition, regard for change. Available online at funeralhome.com.
Roger Weaver and the Weaver Law Offices online at weaver-law.com.
Redeemer Lutheran Church and Dr. Jack Davidson. You can visit them online at redeemerlancaster.org.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
And welcome everybody here today to Take It to the Field here on FCA on LSN. Hi, I'm your host, Caleb Kander. Thank you for tuning in. This show is brought to you by ServiceMaster Clean by Todd George. And my wonderful guest, as always, is the amazing Coach Dave Doudemire. I about called you Dr. Dave Doudemire.
That's all right,
Forgot
That's okay.
Somebody who was guest starring for you on the on your show over the weekend, and
yeah,
he called
Dr. Patrick.
Dr. Patrick, and he did a great job. And so, actually, over the weekend we had the game against the Green Bobcats, and there's a lot of news going around with that. Let's just start with the big news. First big news about it: Hayden Welch breaking what is said to be was it 79?
1973.
1973 with 7 touchdowns. A lot of buzz going on about
7 touchdowns, 8 extra points, a field goal. He scored 53 points in a football game. Now, I've been coaching a long time, and I've seen a lot of things. I've never seen anybody do what he did the other night. Now, I tried to explain to somebody the other day, to score 53 points in a game, Division VI, you know, maybe it's a fullback, it's 250 pounds, runs over the top of everybody and scores 7 touchdowns. Right. That wasn't the way it was. You know, he got 4 touchdown passes, 2 kickoff returns, punt return, kicked a field goal as time expired in the first half, 8 point-after touchdowns, and basically did it in 3 quarters of play. His last touchdown was in the fourth quarter when Green had scored, and I just put our kickoff return team out there. I suppose I could put a JV team out there, but you don't think about it, you know. We ran our number 1 kickoff return out there, and
he just takes off. So
there was only points we scored in the fourth quarter. Our JVs played the entire fourth quarter. So Hayden Welch scored 7 touchdowns, 53 points.
Well, and that's normally
in 3 quarters.
You normally don't hear one player in football getting 53 points. That's normally more of a basketball stat.
Yeah, and in fact, he had a touchdown called back. He intercepted a pass in the first quarter, returned it 85 yards for what would have been his 8th touchdown. But it's a team effort. Luke had to throw it and get him the ball, and the lineman had to block, and everybody had to do what they wanted to do. But, you know, Hayden's been struggling a little bit for us, Caleb. He's not been the force that we thought he was going to be. A little bit of maybe self-imposed pressure on him. Who knows what it would be? A lot of factors. And he really came into his own the other night and played great. We expect that kind of performance from him every week. Maybe not 53 points, but we expect him to be a big playmaker for us.
Well, and you said he stepped it up as well as the rest of the team, because you guys had just come off a game where you did blow out New Miami, but you even said yourself you guys didn't play that well against New Miami. So last week was great.
Well, and he and Luke didn't either. If you went back and looked at New Miami film, I told those guys, you guys could have thrown for 500 yards last week. Just pitch and catch. Just throw it to an open guy. And they've struggled a little bit all year, but last week week they had a great week.
Right. Well, this week we're ranked number 18th in the AP poll, and we're second in the division. We're actually facing this week, as we what'll come on right after this, is the number 10 in our division, or in our region, excuse me, is the Notre Dame Titans, I believe it is.
Portsmouth,
A lot of buzz going on in Portsmouth, I guess, is one of the better lines they've had in recent history. So what is it you're going to do coming out there to try and beat Notre Dame this week?
Same thing we always try to do. My philosophy has always been, ever since I coached, we're going to do what we try to do. And when somebody counters what we do, especially on offense, then that means they're weak in another area. So we play in our basic game plan, and when they make adjustments to stop what we do best, then we have to be able to do some other things. And that's what I've been trying to tell our football team all week, is we have to develop other weapons. We have to get the ball to other guys for when they do try to take Hayden out of the game, which we know that's what they'll do. But we're confident with our ability to do some other things, and hopefully some other guys will step up to the plate and make some big plays for us this week.
Right. Well, good luck to you again this week, Coach, and thank you for stopping by and getting this interview with us. And thank you also for tuning in to Take It to the Field, presented by Service Master Clean by Todd George. Service Master Clean by Todd George, janitorial cleaning, commercial floor care, and proud to be the only Green Seal certified janitorial service in Central Ohio. They promise to do the job right or do it over. Service Master Clean by Todd George can be contacted at 740-687-1077. Thank them for supporting FMP Sports. Up next, the FCA on LSN Game of the Week. The FCA Knights versus the Notre Dame Titans. Stay tuned.
All right, guys, we gotta be smarter about what we bite on, okay? I want everyone to go outside. We're gonna run Red Rover on 3.
What about you, Tony?
I'm gonna run around in circles, flatten my arms, and make engine noises like this.
When it comes to playing, we kids are the pros.
We're eating right, too.
We fuel up
to play 60.
If your school doesn't have a program, be a leader. Start one.
Click today and join the movement.
From Spartan Municipal Stadium, the FCA Knights come in 4-0 against Notre Dame, the Notre Dame Titans, who come in with a record of 3-1. Now, I'm here with Mr. Rob Bowler. I'm Jared Kemp, your play-by-play announcer. Now, Mr. Bowler, what can you tell us about Portsmouth Notre Dame?
Well, you know, they have a proud tradition. They've won 2 state championships. And, you know, they're looking, I'm sure, for computer points tonight to defeat a 4-0 team. And coming off a tough loss last week to a Division III school. So they'll be ready to go on their homecoming night.
You see Hayden Welch there about to kick it off. And we'll talk about Hayden in just a minute in the big game he had against Green High School last week, a team just down the road from Portsmouth, Ohio, and Franklin Furnace, and he's about to kick it off. Number 1, Kevin Lewis, is back to receive.
Yes, Hayden, being a Fairfield Christian Academy player, definitely had a night to remember last week. 53 points.
Bernard right next to you holding water.
But I'm sure that Notre Dame paid attention to that, and
I'm sure
they'll be ready for him tonight.
That's going to be the big question tonight, is how Notre Dame will contain Hayden Welch. Maybe, my guess is probably double coverage. That'll open up Nick Spurgis as well.
Yeah, it may open up the running game a little bit. Looks like number 1, who's one of the best athletes on the team.
He's across midfield. Hayden Welch to beat.
See if Hayden
to the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, and Hayden pushes him out around the 7-yard line, and not the start that Coach Dave Dobmeyer wanted him and his team to have. Now the Titans of Notre Dame are led by junior quarterback Michael Mader, who will have beautiful field position to have his first drive.
You know, we identified number 1 in warm-ups. He looked like a good athlete for Notre Dame. And the Knights, although they're 4-0, their kickoff coverage has been absolutely horrible this year.
They had
last week 3 times against Green.
Yep.
Hayden had to make a saving tackle as he did tonight.
That was a good hustle by Hayden, but you're right. Poor play by the Knights special teams. So Mater will go under center. Two receivers to the top of your screen. Gives it to the tailback.
Big hole.
Number
Big hole.
22, Jacob Milani. And he is down just shy of the goal line, inside the 1 yard line.
You know, not a good start for the Knights. Of course, coming off an easy victory last week. Had a lot of positive publicity with how they played, and they give up the early kickoff, and then they get really a hole blown open, wide open on them on the first down play.
So it'll be second down and goal just inside the 1. Mater will keep it himself, and easy touchdown as Michael Mater puts the first points on the board for the Notre Dame Titans.
Yeah, really not much resistance on that quarterback sneak either. He put his head down, the quarterback, but easily got in and really just collapsed the Knights defensive line on both of those plays.
This FCA Game of the Week is brought to you by Service Master Clean by Todd George. And Notre Dame will be kicking the extra point. Kick is up, almost blocked from the left side, but no matter. Kick is good, and with 11:15 remaining in the first quarter, your score here at Spartan Municipal Stadium is 7-0, the Titans over the Knights. And now it's time for Luke Johnson and his big target Hayden Welch to come out on the field. Now let's talk about Hayden Welch for a minute, Mr. Bowler. The Max Preps Player of the Week, the Muscle Milk Player of the Week, the JJ Huddle Player of the Week, the Columbus Dispatch Player of the Week, and the Lancaster Eagle Gazette Player of the Week. He had a big game, and that's an understatement, against Green last week. 53 total points, 7 touchdowns, 10 receptions for 295 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown, and also a punt return for a touchdown. And then little icing on the cake, a 40-yard field goal, the first in FCA history.
Yeah, 40-yard field goal with 0.1 seconds to go in the half. I wonder if the Green coach had a talk with his clock keeper last week. And then 8 for 8 on extra points as well. Yeah, 53 of the 59 points. Now, again, Notre Dame's seen that. Let's see what they do in the kickoff. Let's see if they kick it to him. Let's see if they onside kick it. And they do squib it to try to keep it away.
And fielded by an upback at the 40-yard line. So good field position for Luke Johnson, senior quarterback, to come out and lead his team.
And that was Colin Young, sophomore Colin Young, who jumped on the ball for the Knights. They get it at the 40-yard line, but as we've talked, with the way that Hayden's returned the ball, they'll probably take that. Obviously, they will on that play. We'll see what they do as the game goes on. Hopefully for the Knights, they won't be kicking off that many times.
So first down and 10 from the 41-yard line. 2 receivers out for the Knights. Spurgis to the bottom of your screen. Hayden Welch to the top of your screen. The give to Sammy Frattura up the middle. He gets a nice hole, and he is brought down just shy of midfield, actually at the 50-yard line. Gain of 9.
You know, Jared, right away we see the adjustment that Notre Dame's making against Hayden. They put a corner on him, then they put a safety over the top, then they ruled another safety to his side of the field. That should open up for number 85, Nick Spurgis, and it also should open up the running game because that forces Notre Dame to take an extra guy out of the box. So Sam Fraturo and Nick Spurgis could have opportunities tonight to make big plays.
And Sam's a guy you can't take your eye off of as he crosses the 45 to around the 43-yard line. First down, Knights. Sam has had over 100 yards rushing in every game this year.
Yeah, comes in tonight with 10 touchdowns on the season. Had the 1 touchdown last week that Hayden didn't have. And we will say that Hayden actually also had an 87-yard interception that got called back where he would have had 8 touchdowns last week.
I look for a slant bench here. His stance, look where he's at.
Johnson calling the plays, goes under center. And
Nick's up in the backfield.
It might have been a broken play, and he's brought down at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the fullback, Ben Tobin, who went the wrong way. It looked like the line was blocking the way that Ben went. It looked like maybe Luke might have turned the wrong way on that play.
So it'll be second down and 13 ball spotted at the 45-yard line in the Titans territory.
Interesting that the Knights are putting Colin Young out wide. He's been playing tight end most of the season.
They have Hayden Welch in the slot position. They're going to pitch right side to Sam Fraturo, and he is brought down after a gain of maybe a yard. And they're saying a fumble.
Yeah, Sam. They're giving it to the Knights. Sam has an issue where he is such a hard runner. He does not want to go down. He spins, he twists. He's always looking to get extra yardage. Unfortunately, when he is spinning and twisting, he does not put a second hand on the ball, and he tends to keep the ball down a little bit by his belly button when he runs. He doesn't put it underneath his armpit. He doesn't chest the ball. So that's going to be an issue for Sam until he learns to put two hands on the ball or chest it.
And that was the problem last week for the Knights. Sam and Hayden both fumbled a couple times each.
Looks like the Knights jump. The offensive line looks like it's going to be 3rd and about 18 for the Knights.
And this is not the start that Coach Topmeyer wanted offensively. They've had success running the ball, but they're shooting themselves in the foot with penalties and not knowing where you're supposed to run.
Right, turning the wrong way, not being ready on special teams, and now a false start. So they're challenging themselves here.
So it'll be 3rd and a mile for the Knights. Johnson dropping back to pass. He's going to keep it himself. And he is brought down at the 44-yard line, and the Knights will be forced to punt.
Yeah, well, you know what? You never know with Coach Doppelmayr. He's in plus territory, although it looks like he is sending in the punt team, but he likes to go for it on 4th down. I guess 4th and 12, a little too much. It looked like they were looking for Nick Spurgis on a slant. And Nick has had some issues this year, running inside, wanting to complete patterns, turning around to see the ball. And my guess is that might be why they're putting Colin Young out wide, because although Nick is a big, strong kid, fast kid, athletic kid, he's not the best route runner.
And a bad low snap. Zach gets the kick off, but it's a high, short kick. And it's going to be down at the around the 18-yard line. That's where Michael Mater and the Titans will come out for their second drive of the game.
Down by Dustin Weaver. I'm not sure why he downed the ball. It was rolling towards the Notre Dame end zone. He looked like he could have gotten another 3 or 4 yards out of that ball, but for some reason he was anxious to down it.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup now for the Titans.
Well, here we go. We're making an adjustment right away. The Knights are putting Ben Tobin, a linebacker, as a down lineman, seeing if they can slow down that running game.
And a run right side and across the 25. Knights are trying to strip the ball.
Yeah, Hayden Welch trying to strip it. Really only one Knight trying to tackle. The other Knights were trying to pull the ball away.
And they're trying to tackle him high, and he looks like a good enough, a big enough kid that he will not go down unless you take him by the legs. So ball's near the 30-yard line. So it'll be a first down run. That was number 22, Jacob Milani.
Yeah, pretty strong run. It looks like the Knights are going to be challenged all night. This time they put Ben Tobin back in his traditional linebacking position. Let's see if they can slow up that running game.
Screen pass right side to Lewis, and he gets a couple on the play.
Nick Spurgis on the tackle.
And today's starting lineup is brought to you by Weaver Law Offices. They are dedicated to serving all of Central Ohio with competent, qualified, and timely legal assistance at reasonable rates. Roger Weaver, a name you know, experience you can trust. You can contact the Weaver Law Offices at 614-834-1750. And Milani across, he's down at midfield. And another first down for Jacob Milani and the Titans of Notre Dame.
Yeah, Nick Spurgis makes the tackle again, but once again, we've seen, I think, on every single play that Notre Dame has run, they've really dominated the defensive line of the Knights. They're just knocking them off the ball, just being more physical. It looks like they want to play a little bit harder than the Knights want to play.
The Knights took a 2-hour trip down here, so might take them a little bit of time to get their heads right, but let's see what Coach Dave Dobmeyer does. Mater goes under center. Gives to Milani once again.
Forward. That's it.
Jordan Bennett on the tackle that time for the Knights. The Knights nose guard. But they still get a pretty good push. They get almost 4 yards. The Knights are getting no penetration whatsoever.
After a gain of 3, it'll be 2nd down and 7. Ball across midfield at about the 46-yard line. Receiver goes in motion. That's Kevin Lewis. And they'll give to Milani once again. And he's dragged down. Ben Tobin in on the play.
Yeah, right up the middle. Again, he's not even hit until he's 4 or 5 yards down the field. So brings up 3rd, and it looks like a long 2.
This can be a big test for the FCA linebackers. Joey Gall, the anchor for the linebackers. And then you have Ben Tobin also.
Yeah, right now it just looks like Colin Young and Kenny Burcham are getting knocked off the ball, and that makes it hard for the linebackers to make tackles because they've got the linemen on them. If the defensive lineman can slow them up, get some penetration, or at least take up 2 blockers, but again, they can't. An easy 1st down for Notre Dame. Sammy Fraturo on the tackle that time.
It was Jacob Milani on the carry, and they're going to spot the ball and give him a 1st down.
37-yard line. Yeah, unless the Knights defensive line can hold up against the offensive line, it's going to be a long night for the Knights.
Mater dropping back to pass, and he's just going to throw that one out of bounds. Good penetration by the Knights, getting some pressure on him.
Well, it looks like another flag on the play. We'll see if the Knights slapped him in the face. And he was trying to go to his tight end on that play. He wasn't open, so he just threw it out of bounds.
Let's see what the call is.
Roughing intentional grounding against Notre Dame. He did throw it out of bounds. He was inside the tackle box. He didn't throw it close to an eligible receiver, so I think that was a good call. So loss of down.
And that will back the Titans up. This will be 2nd down and 15.
You know, even when the Knights get pressure, it's usually from the edges, from Luke Johnson or Zach Sullivan. It's usually not from the defensive line.
Mater goes under center. Knights showing blitz coming from the left side. Let's see who that is. That is number 6. That's going to be a 3rd and short. Yeah, actually number 5, Brendan Hoover on the carry.
Yeah, Nick Spurgis actually had a chance to make a tackle. For some reason, as he got closer to the ball, he slowed up and did not make any contact whatsoever. But he was in a position to make the tackle 2 or 3 yards further back.
So it'll be 3rd down and 3 now for the Titans. Mater goes under center, 2 receivers out. And he's going to give to his fullback, and I believe he's going to be short of a 1st down. There was a Jack Kaiser on the carry.
Yeah, mix up in the backfield. The quarterback and the fullback ran into each other. If they had not done that, he would have gotten the 1st down.
No doubt.
Slowed him up enough for the Knights to make the tackle. So here we are, 4th and about 2. So far, the Knights haven't been able to stop anything on, in terms of a physical attack right at them. So my guess is they'll go right at him up the middle. Ben Tobin goes in to add an extra down lineman to the defensive line.
Mater will give to Milani.
Nice
inside.
Hit. Brian Miller. Wow, he shot the gap.
Big sophomore for the Knights stops the Titans on 4th down, and hopefully that'll get this offense going for the Knights, give them a little spark.
Yeah, maybe it'll wake them up a little bit. We've got 3:33 to go in the 1st quarter. Knights only 2nd possession of the game.
So the Knights will get the ball around the 30-yard line in their own territory.
They got number 1. Looks like their best athlete against the Knights' best athlete, Hayden Welch.
Johnson drops back to pass. He's looking long for Welch, and fingertip catch, 30.
Hayden puts the ball away. He tends to keep that ball low as he's got it now. He makes a lot of great plays, but he will not put the ball away.
Yeah, that was a great cut to get a few extra yards, and he's down at the 20-yard line.
Nice cut, but I tell you what, that was a great pass by Luke Johnson.
Oh,
led him perfectly.
Beautiful.
Lofted the ball in the air, allowed Hayden to run underneath it. And, Hayden fumbled last year against Newark Catholic on a similar play, running across the middle. Fumbled last week on a similar play, cutting it back across the middle. And the way he holds the ball, he's going to continue to get it knocked out.
So 1st down and 10, ball at the 20-yard line. Johnson going to give the Sammy Faturo up the middle.
Yeah, the fullback, Ben Tobin, ran right by the guy he was supposed to block. He was running out wide and just didn't see the guy coming from the inside.
So back to the line of scrimmage goes Faturo. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
I guess they're going to give him a yard there, Jared, calling it 2nd and 9. Again, they've got Hayden bracketed with a safety over the top. It looks like they're going to try to jam him along the line of scrimmage and not let him run to the inside.
And they were going for that slant pass that was
intended for Tony Welch.
Tony Welch, Hayden's little brother.
Yeah, Tony and Nick both have the same issue, and I understand why. Tony's a sophomore. He's not a big kid. Nick's a sophomore. Anytime they run that slant, they tend to slow down when they see contact coming. And when you run the slant, you are going to run into contact. So, and Luke tends to throw to a spot, and if you slow down and don't get to that spot, it could be an interception.
Play action bootleg for Johnson. He's going to throw it, caught by Welch.
Are they going to give him the? No, they're not. They're going to wave it off. They said he didn't have it long enough. And again, as good as Hayden is, and Hayden is good, Hayden was 1st team All-State last year. His numbers and his statistics speak for themselves. But one of the issues that he continues to have is when he catches the ball, he does not tuck it away. So he's always going to be susceptible to getting it poked out, to getting it knocked out when contact is made.
So after that incompletion, it will be 4th down and 9. Coach Dobmeyer, not believing in kicking field goals, will go for it on 4th down.
5's on the line.
Looks like Notre Dame's going to bring pressure.
Johnson looking to pass and overshoots his intended receiver. I believe that was Young. And turnover on downs for the Knights.
Yeah, Colin was really open on that play, and Colin has a big enough body where he, I think, is a little more willing to run that slant, to run inside. But the pass was just thrown behind him. He was open. He just didn't make contact with him. Interesting that Coach Dobmeyer, who has Hayden Welch, who we said kicked a 40-yard field goal last week, had a field goal opportunity there with the ball inside the 20 that would have been less than 40 yards. But he's an aggressive coach. He's got good players. He likes to put pressure on the defense.
So Mater will go under center for the Knights, the Titans, 3rd offensive possession, and Milani rumbles ahead just shy of the 25-yard line. I'd like to remind you the first quarter action of FCA on LSN is brought to you by Thompson Concrete. They are a full-service company offering commercial, residential, decorative, excavation, and foundation services with the ability to handle every detail of large, complex concrete projects. Thompson Concrete is located in Carroll, Ohio, and can be reached at 740-756-7256 or online at thompsonconcrete.com. Milani goes to the middle and goes nowhere.
Interesting, the Knights took Kenny Burcham out on that series and put in Austin Mosley, number 60. Austin's a much smaller guy than Kenny, and did an excellent job getting penetration and forcing a short yardage play. The last 3 defensive plays for the Knights have been their best in terms of stopping the run and getting some penetration.
And the Titans, not a one-dimensional team. They have a good quarterback in Michael Mater. He can throw it over the top.
Yeah, it looks like Hayden Welch, they're going to target number 1. That's going to be a good matchup all night. Number 1 against number 5. The quarterback overthrows out of bounds, bringing up 4th down. And it looks like the Titans are going to punt it away. Sammy Furturo and Hayden Welch, really any of these plays, kickoffs, punt returns, they're very good. You know, if they can catch the ball on the fly, it could be a big play for the Knights.
Sam brought back a punt return for a touchdown against Millersport in the first game of the year. So yes, he's a very dangerous returnman. Good punt. Sam fields it near the 45, looking for a hole, makes a move.
He's
still knocked down.
Holds the ball out wide, just like he did last week. Spins around in traffic. I tell you what, Sammy and Hayden, as good as they are, and they are both very good ball players, they are a turnover waiting to happen the way they carry the ball.
I'm sure that's something they will continue to watch for and film. The coaches get on them, I'm sure about that.
Yeah, but it's got to be frustrating to see guys
definitely
who do the same thing every week. Sammy fumbled twice last week. Hayden fumbled actually twice as well. One of them he recovered and ran for a touchdown, but you can't make a living that way. Yeah.
So three receivers for the Knights: Burgess, Welch, and Young. Tobin and Furturo are your 2 backs, and they give to Furturo up the middle. Finds a hole right side, 1 man to beat, and he is run out of bounds. Let's see where they spot the ball.
Looks like he's going to be marked out at the 18-yard line. Nice hole, nice run by Sammy.
And Sam, when he finds that hole, he's going to take it. So great run by Sammy Furturo.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Sammy and Hayden are the home run hitters for the Knights. Luke does a good job of getting them the ball. The coaches do a great job of putting them in the right positions to get it. The fullback, Ben Tobin, is a great blocking fullback. So they're a hard team to keep off the board. They have a lot of explosive plays.
Once again, 3 receivers out for the Knights. Give to Furturo again, goes right side, fumbles the ball. And I believe Luke
Johnson
got it
up on it, but of course it's a loss on the play of about 5 yards. And again, Sammy, we love you. You got to put the ball away.
Maybe that'll teach him.
I hope so. That's 3 fumbles in the last 5 quarters for him. Looks like that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. We'll see. There's about 5 seconds to go as the clock winds down.
And that will do it. That was the final play of the first quarter. Your score here at Spartans Municipal Stadium: the Titans of Notre Dame up 7-0 over the FCA Knights. You are watching FCA football on LSN.
FCA on LSN.
FCA on LSN. Brought to you in part by
Thompson Concrete, a full-service concrete company. Online at thompsonconcrete.com.
Service claimed by Todd George. They are proud to be the only Green Seal certified janitorial service in Central Howard and promise to do the job right or do it over. 740-687-1077.
Let Mac Gray motivate you or your group for change. You can visit him online at macspeaking.com.
Roger Weaver and the Weaver Law Offices online at weaver-law.com.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Back to Portsmouth, Ohio at Spartan Municipal Stadium. The first play of the second quarter is about to begin. Luke Johnson, play action, looking long into double coverage.
Somehow Hayden caught the ball. That should be a touchdown. It looked like he got 1 foot down, which is all you need in high school. Now, it may not be. It's kind of hard to tell. When they put those markers back at the end of the end zone, they put them 2 or 3 yards behind the line. Kind of a dangerous pass in traffic.
It was.
But when you have a receiver like Hayden, you want to give him a shot.
Double coverage, but you're right. Hayden, a tall kid. So that will be no touchdown for the Knights.
3rd and 14 coming up. Another big play. If the Knights get it under 10 yards on this play, they'll probably go for it again on 4th down.
And they're going to try and end around to Tony Welch. And he is stopped in the backfield. And you got to believe that Coach Dobmeyer will go for it on 4th down.
Well, I'm not sure about that. Now that there's a loss on the play, 4th and about 20, we'll see what he does here. The interesting call there with Tony Welch to run that. Actually, Jacob Walker, another sophomore, has a little more speed than Tony. Tony's not a big, strong kid. He has a tendency when he sees the defense coming to kind of curl up a little bit. So, wonder if Jacob will get a shot to run that in the future. Knights are going for it on 4th and 20.
Johnson looking long, has a man, and incomplete. Coaches up here wanted pass interference, but they're not going to get it. So once again, turnover on downs, and it'll be the Titans football.
Yeah, went to Nick Spurgis on that play. It was a pretty well thrown ball, but it was excellent coverage. Nick is a big guy. Sometimes I wonder if Nick understands. He's 6'2", about 180 pounds. He's typically matched up with somebody 2 or 3 inches, 4 inches shorter, typically 30, 40 pounds lighter. I'd love to see Nick use his body a little bit more as he does in basketball, box guys out, get position, maybe slow up, and then speed up at the last minute to make the catch.
So here's junior quarterback Michael Mader under center, gives it to his tailback Jacob Milani, and he's across the 30, brought down around the 30-yard line.
Late flag on the play. Not sure what that could be. That was well after the play was over.
So it's got to be a personal foul, you got to believe.
Could be some talking going on. We'll see. Personal foul against Notre Dame.
So that will back them up 15.
Yeah, last year the Knights were able to defeat Notre Dame 28-7 in the 3rd and 4th quarter. In the second half, there was a lot of talking going on between the teams, a lot of hits and grabs and whistles after the initial whistle. So maybe that's carrying over a little bit tonight.
You see Coach Dave Dobmeyer, the head coach for the Fairfield Christian Knights.
I see Bobby Furturo in there playing a defensive end spot for the Knights. He's been a super aggressive defensive player for the Knights all year. And Bobby did get caught inside on that play.
And there's Milani, and he's brought down. See,
oh boy,
Joey
I tell you
Gall.
what, Colin Young made a silly play right there. He was being blocked. It was a little bit off the whistle, but he grabbed the guy from Notre Dame, threw him down. So the advantage the Knights got on the play before, Colin just gave right back to him. He's going to get a 15-yard penalty, and they're going to be out of trouble. And the Knights just gave up field position on that play.
It's got to be very frustrating for the Knights. I mean, usually at this time they're up maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns, but this is the first legitimate team that the Knights have faced this year. And the the Titans are giving them a run for their money, up 7-0.
Yeah, Bobby Furturo, we just pointed him out, number 7 on defense, did a good job, was in there and in position to make the tackle. Looked like he might have gotten grabbed a little bit, but those things happen. The Knights just lost their poise there and gave him a 3rd and short.
So it'd be 3rd and about 4 for Mader and the Titans. They give to Milani, and he spins his way across the 35 to the 36. Not enough for a first down.
Yeah, initially hit by Bobby Furturo and then cleaned up by Joey Gall. So Bobby just plays a fearless game, whether it's special teams or defense. He has no fear.
His coming out party really was the Millersport game, his first game as a Knight. And you're right, very, very aggressive player. It's really fun to watch him play.
Now looking at the spot there, it looks like he might have a first down. I thought
he's very close.
Yeah, I thought where he went down, it might be about a full yard short, but where they spotted the ball, it's going to be pretty close. It may be a first down.
Well, let's see as they bring the chains out. And first down.
Well, that may be an advantage of having the ball spotted on your side of the field.
Yeah.
But once again, if the Knights do what they're supposed to do, just play defense, not give up that 10-yard penalty, they would be probably looking at some pretty good field position here.
So first down and 10, ball spotted at the 37-yard line in the Titans field.
Ben Tobin once again goes in as a down lineman.
And they give to the tailback across the 40. And that's where he's brought down. Milani, the ball carrier.
No, that was 27 on the carry that time. I believe that might have been Jack Kaiser.
Another tailback.
Yeah, it looks like right now that the Knights have adjusted. Looks like they're ready to play some defense. They're doing a better job. Although the Titans did get about 4 on that play. We'll see here if the Titans decide to go over top as the Knights are concentrating against that running game.
Second down and 7 for the Titans. That's Jacob Milani on the ball, on the carry, and he's brought down just shy of the 45. And he'll be a few yards short of a first down.
Yeah, looks like about 3rd and a long 2. And, you know, this might be an opportunity for the Titans to take a shot. They've got a very good receiver, number 1. They've got, as you said earlier, a pretty good quarterback. So we'll see if they take a shot, thinking that they could go for it on 4th and short if they don't connect.
Number 1, Kevin Lewis there. Good receiver.
Matched up with Sam Faturo. Sam doesn't have any help. They go the other way. Hayton Welch breaks on it, breaks it up, almost picks it off. It's going to bring up 4th down for the Titans.
I thought they were going to go to Kevin Lewis. I mean, he was matched up one-on-one with Sam Faturo. They're probably evenly matched for speed, so.
Yeah, and you would think they would throw away from Hayden.
Yeah, but they don't, so it'll bring up 4th down and 3.
You know, Jared, we've seen a few fake punts this year. Fisher Catholic faked it on the Knights a couple times.
We did.
We'll see what the Titans do. 4th and short near midfield. They may decide to be a little tricky here. We'll see.
Sam Faturo back to receive the kick, and he's going to let that one roll out of bounds. We'd like to thank you for watching this FCA Game of the Week on LSN. Second quarter action is brought to you in part by Fairfield Mini Storage, the place to store your personal or business goods in a clean, dry unit within a gated facility. They have outside storage for RVs and boats, and they are Lancaster source for Penske truck rentals. Fairfield Mini Storage is located on 2230 East Main Street in Lancaster, or you can find them on the web at ffministorage.com. So senior quarterback Luke Johnson will bring his troops out on the field, give to Sam Faturo up the middle, and gets a nice hole, gets a substantial yardage.
Looks like he got about 4, maybe 5, tackled by number 50, Daniel Ogg, for the Titans. You know, we're going to keep watching Hayden and Kevin Lewis. They're matched up with each other all over the field. Hayden continues to match up in the slot. And the Knights continue to go with 3 wide receivers, which they haven't done much this year.
They give to Ben Tobin up the middle. Maybe gets a yard across the line of scrimmage.
Looks like the Knights are trying to spread out Notre Dame, take another defender out of the box with the Knights 3 wide receivers set, thinking that they can just, you know, run on them, which they've had some success doing.
They have.
You know, one of the things that the Knights, we don't know about the Knights yet because they've had so many explosive plays, we really haven't seen them go on a sustained 10, 12, 15 play drive yet this year.
Keep an eye on that as Johnson keeps it himself straight up the gut, and he is close to a first down.
They've given him the first down. Looks like he's just over the 30, and they've already marked it and The officials have already called it as a first down.
So we have just about 7 minutes left in the ball game in the second quarter. Luke Johnson goes under center. 2 receivers out for him. Little play action. He's going to be looking long for Welch.
Hayden Welch actually bumped at the line, slowed him up, and then they have, again, number 1, Kevin Lewis as the safety over the top. Every time the Knights put Hayden out wide, they try to jam him at the line and have a safety over the top. When they put Hayden in the slot, he tends to get man-on-man coverage.
So after that incompletion, it'll be 2nd down and 10 from the 31-yard line.
Hayden in the slot on this play.
Draw play up the middle to Sanfraturo, and he's still going. He's across the 45.
You see how
trying
they're
to
trying
strip
to
the
rip
ball.
the ball. Sammy did put a second arm on the ball that time as he got into traffic. He did put his left arm in there to protect it. He still carries the ball low around his waist, but he at least did put a second hand on the ball as he got into traffic that time.
Let's go down to Jack Davidson out on the field. Let's get back to the action. A sweep to the right, and
Sammy, goodness gracious, did you see how he was carrying the ball in that time? Oh, I know I'm going to be a broken record. And, you know, as a Knights fan, I admit that. It's tough to watch that. As good as he is, it's tough to watch that.
Be 2nd down and 12 after that loss by Sanfraturo. 2 receivers out for the Knights. Play action. Johnson looking to pass and goes over the middle. Intercepted, batted. That's number 1, Kevin Lewis.
Yeah, it looks again like their best athlete. Hayden Welch slipped on the play. Again, he got jammed, so he fell down. He didn't try to get up. Johnson forced it to Nick Spurgis, who, again, Nick really doesn't like to run routes on the inside of the field. Nick kind of gave up on the throw. The ball's tipped, and they come up with it. Really, the Knights are going to have to come up with another option other than Hayden. They're going to have to get either Nick to run better routes, to be willing to run over the middle, or Bobby Ferturo or somebody to have that second outside threat. And you know, and Luke, as good as he has been, a great week last week, 14 for 18, he has a tendency to throw to a spot, whether the play is there or not.
.534 remaining in the second quarter. Michael Mader goes under center for Notre Dame. Give to Jacob Milani, and he's across midfield, brought down at the 49-yard line. Let's go to Jack Davidson down on the field.
Things, guys. The Notre Dame defense is trying to take Hayden Welch out of the ball game. The defensive coordinator for Portsmouth Notre Dame is actually calling the plays, predicting what FCA is running. The past couple draws they've been able to predict, so watch, see if FCA tries to do something to change things up. Back to you.
Thank you, Jack. Milani gets the carry and gets jacked up at the line of scrimmage. Good conversion on the ball for the Knights.
It's going to be close. 3rd and about 1. You know, on that last play, Joey Gall shot the gap, had a chance to make a tackle in the backfield, and wasn't able to do it and gave up about 7 yards. But Joey's been great. He usually makes those tackles. 3rd and short. Again, this might be an opportunity for the Knights to take a shot downfield, maybe to number 1, Kevin Lewis. The Knights are going straight man-to-man with he and Hayden.
And they're going to go with Milani, and he has the first down.
Yes, he does.
So first down, Notre Dame. like to thank some of our supporting members for Fairfield Media Sports. Sorry, I was looking over my notes here. Service Master Clean, Fairfield Christian Church, Weaver Law Offices, Fairfield Mini Storage, Smith Funeral Homes, Ohio University Lancaster, N Focus Consulting, Redeemer Lutheran Church, and Thompson Concrete. And there is Maiden, and he is brought down across the 30. And that's enough for another first down for Notre Dame.
Yeah, and not only is Notre Dame moving the ball, getting first downs, but they're chewing up the clock, really limiting the time that the Knights can have the ball. Here we are, about 3:45 left to go until halftime, and the Knights defense has been on the field quite a bit in this first half.
Draw play up the middle to about the 25-yard line. You see Jordan Bennett, senior, trying to get his players excited. .3:15 remaining in the first half of play. Michael Mader getting the play into the huddle. So it'll be about 2nd down and 7 after a 3-yard gain. One receiver out. Mader looking to pass. Goes over the middle and incomplete, throwing into traffic.
Yeah, we had Nick Spurgis and Sammy Faturo converging on the ball. Really not much of a window for him to complete that pass. So that does stop the clock with 2:51 to go in the half. Brings up 3rd and 7 for the Titans. Big down for both teams.
That was number 13, Will Haney, the intended receiver. So 3rd down and 7, 2:51 remaining. Let's see if the Knights can get a big stop here. Mader looking to pass again.
All out blitz.
Great.
All out blitz. The Knights look like they have him. They do. Bringing up 4th and about 11 for the Titans. I tell you what, the Knights rolled the dice there. They had 2 guys back defensively, had 9 guys converging on the ball. If they would have not gotten the ball, that could have been a big play for the Titans.
We're thankful that they did get to him, so it'll be 4th down and 11 for the Titans.
And I don't see a punter or kicker on the field. Looks like the Titans are going to go for it. I do not see the Knights changing their defense. It looks like they're going to go man-to-man across the board, and they do.
Looking long and nowhere. Kevin Lewis was the intended receiver, but the ball way overthrown by Michael Mader. So that will be turnover on downs, and the Knights will get the ball back.
Yeah, I think he was looking for Will Haney to cut to the middle, and Will cut it off way early, and he threw to a spot that Will wasn't. So here we are with 2 minutes. The Knights last week got the ball with 1 minute and 3 seconds to go in the half, ended up kicking a 40-yard field goal. So we'll see how they do these last 2 minutes.
Yes.
And a draw play to Sam Fraturo.
Looks like he dropped the ball again.
Oh, goodness.
They're saying he was down. He has got to get the ball out of his stomach and up under his armpit.
There's Jacob Milani in on the play. Knights in hurry-up mode and spikes the ball. Luke Johnson does.
Yeah, that's kind of a tough play to run, to spike it. Now it's bringing up 3rd and 6. You know, if you go ahead and run a play there, you still have time. You still have a couple of timeouts. So that puts a little bit of pressure on the Knights to get a conversion here. And if they don't, it allows an opportunity for the Titans to get the ball back before the half.
Knights send out 1 receiver to the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom, Welch being one of them. And they're going to hand the ball off to Sam Fraturo. And I believe he has a first down.
Yes, he does, and that stops the clock. And speaking of that, they actually never started the clock on that play. So they started the play with 1:39. They still have 1:39.
Lucky break for the Knights. So
yeah.
Here we go, 1st down and 10.
Another spike. I really think in high school football, with the clock stopping on every 1st down, the Knights having 91 seconds in the half and 2 timeouts, I really think they have enough time to run plays, especially after they get 1st downs. They're already at the line. They're only saving about 2 seconds by spiking the ball on a 1st down play. I'm not sure 2 seconds are worth giving up a down.
Yeah, I think you're right. 1:31 remaining, and a screenplay out to Hayden Welch. He's been doing this a lot. They do that a lot. They try to let Hayden outrun people, but he didn't there. He's brought down at the 40-yard line.
And I think he would have had a shot to maybe get another 5 yards, maybe turn the corner. But Hayden loves to cut back, and he did there.
That's how he got the majority of his yards last week. Coach Dobb likes to throw that little bubble screen to Hayden Welch.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that play again, maybe in the second half, maybe even here before halftime, and then to see Hayden throw that ball to Nick Spurgis or someone else. Because what you could see when Hayden caught that ball, he was behind the line of scrimmage. Not behind the line of scrimmage, but actually behind the quarterback. That was actually a lateral.
Yeah. 1:15 remaining in the first half.
And see, with the, as we said earlier, with the spike on the 1st down, just like last series when they had to convert a 3rd and 6, now they've got to convert a 3rd and 10. And with you being on your own 40-yard line, in your own territory, you probably won't go for it on 4th down. So just not sure that spike play is worth it. Again, after a 1st down, after the clock is stopped, I think you can afford to get rid of those 2 or 3 seconds to run a play.
7-0 still your score here in the 2nd quarter. Notre Dame up over the Knights. Just about ready to get the play going.
Yeah, not sure what
Hopefully.
the delay is unless we're waiting for local television. Oh, they actually put 5 seconds back on the clock. Okay, so now we got 1:20 in the half. 3rd and 10.
Johnson and Spurgis, Welch and Spurgis out. And Johnson got hit right as he threw the ball.
Yeah.
Might have knocked that off course, and Spurgis, the intended receiver, as you can see. So 4th down now, and Coach Dobmeyer will punt the ball away.
Which he hates to do.
That's right.
Corey Stevens did break free, number 71 for Notre Dame, and as you said, put a hit on Luke right as he was throwing the ball. Now, what we talked about has come true. Because the Knights put a little pressure on their offense, they're going to kick it away. Notre Dame's going to have the ball possibly near midfield with about a minute or so to go. We'll see how this turns out.
Low snap for Zach Sullivan.
Nice coverage by the Knights.
It was Kevin Lewis. And Tony Welch, Hayden's little brother, in there for the defense. So Michael Mader has just above a minute to orchestrate his offense and try to score before halftime.
Yeah, as usual, Bobby Fraturo, the first guy down on that punt. Because the receiver had to make him miss, it allowed Tony to clean up. But Bobby really made the play there. Well, we'll see what happens here. Notre Dame doesn't look comfortable throwing the ball unless they throw it to number 1. We'll see how this pans out.
Mader has 2 receivers out. Gives to Milani up the middle. And he is brought down just shy of the 35.
No timeout being called for Notre Dame. So it looks like they're going to be content to let the half run out. They have all 3 of their timeouts. The ball's close to the 35-yard line, but it looks like they're going to, I suppose they may see how they do on the next play or two, see if they want to use their timeouts.
They send 2 receivers wide right, 2 men in the backfield.
Yeah, and you see the quarterbacks purposely letting the play clock run down.
Give to Milani up the middle. He's across the line of scrimmage. Maybe gets a yard. just about 15 seconds remaining, and it's probably the end of the second quarter.
Yeah, Josh Coleman made a nice tackle for the Knights on that play.
And they're going to let the clock run down to double zeros. And that's your first half here at Spartan Municipal Stadium here in Portsmouth, Ohio. Your score, the Knights for the first time not leading at halftime. They are down 7-0 over the Notre Dame Titans. Hopefully the Knights can get something going in the second half of play. You've been watching FCA football on LSN.
FCA on LSN. FCA on LSN. Brought to you in part by
Fairfield Mini Storage is located on East Main Street in Lancaster, or find them online at ffministorage.com.
In Focus Consulting, the data agency, online at infocusconsulting.com.
Redeemer Lutheran Church and Dr. Jack Davidson. You can visit them online at redeemerlancaster.org.
The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home. Respect for tradition, regard for change. Available online at funeralhome.com.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
It's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
Welcome to Nightlife. I'm Nathan Sharp, and today I have the pleasure of talking with FCA Principal Craig Carpenter. To start us out, why don't you give us a little overview of just some things going on at the school this year, sports and things like that.
Yeah, well, thanks, Nathan. It's nice to be here with you and all your fellow students here on the cameras. We're off to a good start. This is my 6th year here. This is our 14th year in existence as a school, and that's the current. When we graduate this spring, this will be our 10th graduating class. So there's exciting things of school. There's a lot of growth in the school, but there's for the first 3 or 4 weeks here at school, there's been exciting things going on. This week we have our serve-a-thon, our annual serve-a-thon with the frog-a-thon this Saturday. Will be an exciting time at the fairgrounds. So I encourage anybody to go out to the fairgrounds this Saturday in the morning. And also to this Friday, some of our juniors and seniors will be out and about in town doing some service projects. And also the rest of the kids, 6th through 9th grade and 10th grade, will be here in school doing service-on projects like writing letters to some soldiers overseas and sending some care packages. So it's an exciting time. The schools, the academics is going really well. The students are excited. We just got recognized last week to win the Governor's Award for our science, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. We applied for the Governor's Award, which is a Thomas Edison Award of Excellence. And we were only 5 schools in the entire state that got a perfect 10 out of 10. So that's an exciting. We have a lot of different good things, not only what you said, sports, academics, and I always break it down into curricular stuff, core curricular, co-curricular, which is the Spanish clubs and art clubs we have in choir, and also the extracurricular, all the sports. And all 3 of those facets in our school are doing amazingly well, and we've been blessed by God. And we have a lot of great students like yourself, the media club. It's a great place to be, and we're having a fantastic year. We're off to a good start.
You said FCA has been a school for 14 years now. What are some things that has, in your opinion, helped FCA grow and become what it has today?
What I'd say, just when I came in, just looking at those 3 facets, like the core curriculars, your academics, and then you look at your co-curriculars, like something like this media club, which is both like sort of an extracurricular in the class in itself, and it's grown. We've been doing this for 6 years, and also the sports extracurricular things. And with all those 3 things, we have a very good balance of that. And I think our students here, we strive for excellence in everything we do, and I think with striving for excellence, I think that attracts students. So, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? What comes first, the students or the programs? I mean, it's a little balance of both. Once we have both, we have some good students and some really good programs, and I think it attracts other students. Before, when I get here, the school was a little imbalanced. There was a lot of elementary kids here, and not so many junior high and high school kids. And today, it's we're what I would call a proportionate school. We have really a little more of high school students than other, but it's proportionate the way it is from elementary to middle school to high school. And 5 years ago we had 90 kids in high school. Today we almost have 200. So it's a huge thing. There's some kids that we retain and we're able to keep here, but there's also, like I said, because of those good programs and a lot of good students, when a lot of kids are coming here in 7th, 8th, and 9th and 10th grade to finish off their academic career.
A lot of growth.
A lot of growth, and it's an exciting time. And like I said, this is a big part of it. Mr. Burcham, your teacher here, this has been a huge thing. This co-curricular we started with the media program gets it's marketing. We get out on the LSN on Sundays, and we you tape the games for some of the ball games we have, volleyball, football in the fall, and just other things throughout the year. And so it really gives us an image, and people recognize us as a school, which probably 5 or 6 years ago, a lot of people didn't know FCA existed, but they do today.
As principal of junior high and high school, what is kind of your daily routine?
My daily routine, well, I do teach a couple classes too, and I didn't start out that way, but I really enjoyed teaching class. I teach first thing in the morning. I teach a Bible class to freshmen, and I try to teach them about a biblical worldview and just try to lay some foundations down for that. And also, it gives me a chance for them to recognize me, and for me to recognize them a little bit more than in junior high. And so that's how I start my day out. Then I usually, it's really until lunch. It's really just caring for the needs of the students and the teachers. I mean, the only specific day I might have something, specific to do, but most of the time it's just taking care of the needs of the teachers and the students. And that could be, if anybody's just like a teacher, but also as a principal, that could be anything on any given day.
Yeah.
And so it's an exciting. So it's not routine like everything. It's not routine. Every period, every day, I do exactly the same thing. So it's exciting for me. I get to come down here like this period today and do this and meet all you wonderful young people here. And so it's exciting for me, and I couldn't ask for a better job.
For talking with us today.
Okay.
For the FCA media team, I'm Nathan Sharp, and if you would like to learn more about Fairfield Christian Academy, you can check us out on our website, which is fairfieldchristianacademy.com. Thank you, Mr. Carpenter, for talking with us today. Join us again next week.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Back here at Portsmouth, Notre Dame, this is Jack Davidson on the sideline. It's Jack Davidson on the sideline. 7-0, Portsmouth, Notre Dame leads FCA. Talked to Coach David Meyer at halftime. He said he doesn't plan any major changes. Just the team needs to execute better, if not for that first kickoff return by Portsmouth Notre Dame. The game's been pretty even. Talked to Dr. Scott Johnson at halftime. No major injuries, so they're ready to go second half. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jack. And welcome back to Portsmouth, Ohio, here at Spartans Municipal Stadium. We are about 40 seconds away from the start of the second half of play. As you see, the Knights are down for the first time at halftime, 7-0 over the Notre Dame Titans. Probably the best team that they have faced thus far in the season, and the road just gets tougher as the season wears on. Now, I'm Jared Camp alongside Mr. Rob Bowler. Now, Mr. Bowler, tell me your thoughts on the first half of play.
Well, as we suspected before the game, the Titans are doing a really good job matching up with Hayden, putting their best athlete, Lewis, number 1 on him, trying to jam him at the line, putting a safety over the top, and then rolling a second safety to his side of the field, especially when Hayden split out very wide. So that's making it difficult. The Knights, as we talked about, they're going to have to show some patience. They're going to have to prove, whether it be to Notre Dame or their future opponents, that they can go on a 10-play drive or a 12-play drive or a 15-play drive, that they can run the ball and not turn it over, that they can throw the ball and complete 3 or 4 passes for first downs in a single drive, that Luke can, read the defense a little bit, not just throw to a spot when he sees pressure, turn the ball over. This is really the second time that the Knights have faced a team that has done what the Titans are doing tonight. Newark Catholic in the state playoffs did the same thing, where they took Hayden away, rolled a safety over, took away the long ball, and the Knights had a lot of difficulty that night as well.
The Knights will get the ball to start the second half. And you're talking about that defense. It's only going to get harder for the Knights because every team that they play from now on is going to look at this tape, study it, learn it, and do the exact same thing that Notre Dame is doing to the Knights.
Yeah, you'd certainly think so, although I'm surprised that we really didn't see it in the first 4 games until now. So, we'll see how the season goes. We'll see if other guys, maybe Nick Spurgis, maybe Colin Young, maybe Tony Welch, see if other receivers step up and want to make plays, maybe even sophomore Jacob Walker. We'll see, how Sammy does in the running game and Luke, and if we're willing to go to other guys and involve other guys in the passing game. The thing that's hard is, that the Knights have won 13 straight regular season games. So, you and I, at least I am, we're used to watching college teams on TV, professional teams on TV.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen the Knights be so explosive over the last 2 years, score so many points on big plays, and we're not seeing it now for the second time in 15 games. So, sometimes I have a tendency to be a little critical, to expect too much out of high school kids. So we know the coaches have a great track record at Fairfield Christian. We know that they know what to do. So we'll see how the second half plays out. See if the Knights can step up and play with a little more fire here in the second half.
Now Notre Dame is no stranger to good competition. They beat Fayetteville Perry 57-14, and they beat Newcomerstown 25-6. Last week they lost to Northwest 23-20, so a very close game there. And they have a couple state titles to their record, one in 1967 and 1970. And we've been learning a little bit of the history of this Spartans Municipal Stadium. Mr. Bowler, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's pretty neat history. The stadium, I think, was built, at least I was told, was built somewhere around 1919, 1920. Jim Thorpe played a season here in 1927. One of the best athletes who's ever lived. Red Grange played here as a visitor. Bronco Nagurski, another NFL Hall of Famer, played here as a visitor. So just a fantastic history. The first NFL night game in history in 1930 was played here, and the local team, the Spartans, defeated the Green Bay Packers in that game 19-0. So and actually the team that used to play here in the 30s and 40s is now the Detroit Lions. So a proud tradition at Notre Dame, a proud tradition here in Portsmouth.
Another squib kick to start the second half. Just trying to get something out of nothing. Fielded by Nutback.
Yeah,
saying a fumble.
Yeah,
Notre Dame saying
Tony Welch got the ball. Now, obviously, his forward progress was stopped, and his forward progress was stopped for 3 or 4 seconds. For some reason, they didn't blow the whistle. But you know what? Tony should have gotten down. He should have gotten down sooner. He got up. He stood up straight. Then he got hit. Then he tried to go down, but it was too late. The defense was already holding him up. They held him up for 3 or 4 seconds again. They should have blown the whistle. His forward progress was obviously stopped, but he didn't protect the ball, and that's what happens when you go on the road.
So Notre Dame will start with beautiful field position for their first possession here in the second half. Junior quarterback Michael Mader sets up the offense, gave to Jacob Milani left side, and he is brought down just shy of the 35-yard line.
The Knights just they have to pay attention to detail. Again, we're used to seeing college teams, pro teams, but we're also seeing, as I said earlier, we're used to seeing the Knights have a lot of success And tonight they're having to cross their T's and dot their I's. Tonight they're having to play, more of a fundamental game, and so far they're not doing that very well.
2 receivers out for the Titans.
Looks like the fullback for Notre Dame flinched a little bit, and he did. So back him up 5.
And the Knights will take whatever they can get. That penalty, like you said, will back him up 5 yards.
The hardest part about that turnover, Jared, is that it gets it initially got the Titans inside the 40-yard line. Even if the Knights get a 3 and out, they're still going to start probably inside their 20, maybe inside their 10. And again, then they're going to have to be patient and have a long drive, which they haven't shown they can do.
Give to Milani, and he is wrapped up and brought down. Ben Tobin in on the play.
Looks like Kenny Burchin got a piece of him and rode him down as well. So it looks like 3rd and 10 coming up for the Titans. A huge play for the Knights. They really, even though we're still early in the 3rd quarter, they can't afford to go down 2 scores with as hard as it is for them to hold on to the ball and sustain a drive. And it just doesn't look like the Titans are going to give them the big plays they're used to.
Titans split out 2 receivers, 1 in the slot. Kevin Lewis is your wide man. They'll pitch to Jacob Milani, breaks the tackle in the backfield and is tripped up after a gain of a couple.
Yeah, Luke Johnson got a piece of him. Unfortunately gave up contain, but forced him out wide enough that his friends could come and help out. Here we are, 4th and 8, maybe 4th and 9. We'll see what the Titans do. They've got great field position. See if they punt it. I would punt the ball away as hard as it is. Yeah, as hard as it is for the Knights to sustain a long drive. They just have too many tendencies to make an error or put the ball on the field. So I think it's a good, sound decision by the Titan coaches.
Sammy Fraturo and Hayden Welch back to receive this kick. And a nice kick. And it'll go into the end zone for a touchback.
I'll tell you what, Sammy almost made a horrible decision for the Knights. He ran over to get the ball. As the ball hit the ground, he did not get out of the way. The ball could have easily kicked off of him, gone through the end zone and out for a safety, or the Titans could have recovered the ball. Another really lack of fundamentals displayed by the Knights tonight.
And like we said before, it's about a 2-hour bus drive down here. And that can fluster a team, get them out of focus. But we're here in the 3rd quarter, and Knights still looking a little flustered. Let's see what Luke Johnson can do with his first offensive series. Give to San Fraturo up the middle, and he's brought down shy of the 25.
This game could go one or two ways for the Knights. They could show some maturity. They could, be willing to take a long drive, hang on to the ball, execute, and go 10, 12 plays down the field and pull out a tough victory. If they just tried a quick score, put the ball on the ground, then maybe they're just not ready for prime time.
Give to San Fraturo, and he's going left side and maybe gets a yard. So that will bring up a 3rd down for the Knights.
It looks like this could be one of those games where, they're doing a good job here early on taking away Sammy. They've done a great job all night taking away Hayden, the 2 biggest playmakers for the Knights. This is a night where really, whether it's Nick Spurgis or Tony Welch or Colin Young at tight end, sometimes split out, it just may be another night where one of those guys is going to have to make some plays they're not used to making.
They're going to give it to the fullback, Ben Tobin.
Looks like he's going to be short.
Yeah, he's about a couple yards short of a 1st down.
4th down, it looks like the Knights are going to punt away, 4th and about 3.
That's a good decision. I mean, it's 4th and short, but they're so far back in their own field position. So Zach Sullivan will come out and punt the ball away.
So far, Zach has had 2 snaps that have not gotten to him on a fly. He's had to short hop a couple of snaps, so that's an area of concern for the Knights.
Titans send out 2 men to return this kick. Almost got blocked. That's number 27, Jack Kaiser, and he's brought down at the 45-yard line.
You know, and here are the Knights again, because of the fumble to start the second half. Bad special teams play to start kick receive the second half, just like a bad special teams play on the opening kickoff of the ball game. And because of that, the Knights field is flipped. Instead of the Titans possibly being pinned inside their 20, if the Knights would have recovered that, and even if they would have gotten a 3 out. Now here they are, the Titans still near midfield. And again, even if the Knights get a 3 and out, they're probably going to have another long field.
Give it to Milani. He's bouncing off and gets across midfield to about the 49.
You know, even Jared, if the Titans just get a couple of first downs here, we're almost under 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Then you know, even if they just get a first down, the Knights will get the ball with 3 or 4 minutes to go in the quarter. They'll have a long field unless there's a turnover, unless there's a big play. And so just flipping the field against themselves is huge to start the second half. Really hurts the Knights.
Right. 2 men in the backfield now. Mater going to keep it himself, and he's brought down by a host of Knights. See, Zach Sullivan was in there.
Joey Gall got great penetration. Didn't make the tackle, but he made the play. Forced the quarterback inside. So another big third down. Third and about 4.
Yeah. Probably even them up. Keep from overloading.
So let's see what Notre Dame does on this third down. And about 4, same formation. And they will give to, I believe that's Milani.
I'll tell you what,
down.
There's a play by Brian Miller that shows his immaturity. We just talked about that. The Knights had a chance to stop the ball short. Brian came up to make the tackle. Instead of pushing the guy back and making it 4th and 1, he tried to strip the ball, allowed the guy to fall forward for another 1.5 yards and a first down. That's just the kind of play they don't need. This is a game, like we say, cross your T's, dot your I's, make the tackles, execute, be where you're supposed to be, show some discipline. Don't try to make it one play. Don't try to create something that isn't there. Sometimes you have to win football by just doing the right thing.
Yes, that's absolutely right. Mater will give to Milani. And still going. Oh my goodness, he popped out of nowhere.
You know, that could be another example of what we're talking about.
Oh, goodness.
Have him surrounded, not bringing him down, not finishing the play. You know, I don't know if they were trying to strip the ball there. I'd have to look at it again on a replay. But they're just, they're not playing winning football.
Let's go down to Jack Davidson down on the sideline. We'll get to him after this play.
Looks like it might have been offsides on the Knights. Again, maybe just a little over anxious. Looks like maybe Josh Coleman looks like jumped for the Knights, and he did. Sets up a 1st and 5. And if they get a first down, that eats another 3 or 4 minutes off the clock.
Let's go to Jack Davidson now on the sideline.
Pretty noticeable here on the sidelines that the FCA defense trying to strip the ball from the ball carrier rather than tackle the ball carrier. If they don't fix that problem, there'll be more big gains for Notre Dame. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jack. Give to, I believe that is Jack Kaiser. That was actually Milani. He goes up the middle and doesn't get anything. It'll be second down.
Looks like maybe a long 4. You know, I did notice, Jared, in warm-ups that the Titans have a pretty good kicker. He was kicking the ball through in warm-ups from 30, 35 yards. So they're close to field goal range if they choose to try one.
Give to Milani, and gets a first down. A nice strong run by number 22, Jacob Milani.
On the 11. Yeah, it was a good run. The Knights actually had 2 guys take shots at him and run past him.
And like we said before, this Notre Dame team, not a one-dimensional offense. Jacob Milani, not their only player. Number 1, Kevin Lewis, receiver for him. They have that option to go long to Lewis, but this running game has been very, very good for the Titans tonight, as Milani gets the ball once again, keeps pumping his legs.
Yeah, the Titans are just doing so much of a better job of finishing plays, finishing runs, falling forward, making plays. You know, we have to give credit to them. They've played a really, really solid, disciplined game tonight.
They have. They're led by number 6, Michael Mater, their quarterback, 6'1" junior. 2 men in the backfield. Give him Milani again, trying to rumble his way ahead and doesn't go anywhere. And there's Joey Gall in there on the stop. Also Zach Sullivan in on it.
And here we are approaching about 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Second down. Looks like third down. Yeah, it looks like they will have a shot, if they don't get anything here, possibly to go 2 scores up if they can convert on a field goal.
And it's going to be up to Luke Johnson and the offense to try and get something going. They've been shut out the entire game. So third down and about 5 now. And Mater going to roll out. Got penetration. He's going to throw it away.
Now that should be grounding.
Intentional grounding.
And he does call it. He did not get the ball. He was outside the tackle box. Zach Sullivan did a good job forcing him out, but he did not get the ball past the line of scrimmage. So what really hurts the Titans there is the ball, if they don't pick up that flag, they're probably now out of field goal range. And for some reason, it looks like they're picking up the flag. He did not get the ball past the line of scrimmage, so I'm not really sure why they're picking that flag up.
I think the coach is trying to argue that there was a receiver in the area, but you're right. If the ball doesn't get across the line of scrimmage, then it really doesn't matter.
Looks like they are going to try a field goal.
Now snap the hole. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Notre Dame goes up 10-0 over the Knights of FCA here with 2:58 remaining in the third quarter of play. Third quarter action of FCA on LSN is brought to you in part by Ohio University Lancaster and Pickerington campuses, where class sizes are small, so you'll get to know the faculty who cares about you and your success. You can discover your promise in academics, in athletics, or in theater at Ohio University Lancaster and Pickerington, and online at lancaster.ohiou.edu. So what's Coach Dave Dobmeyer telling his offense now?
You know, I think what he told him at halftime was, we're just going to play physical, we're going to come out and play. And that's what they did on that first series that they had the ball. Unfortunately for them, they were not able to push the Titans off the ball. You know, once again, I think the message to the Knights is just play disciplined, fundamental football. You'll be okay. Don't try to do things that aren't there. Here we go again with the kickoff. So far, they have not kicked to Hayden Welch. Chances are they're going to squib it again. You know, you'd think the Knights would just fall on it after the last situation. We'll see what they do. They do squib it again, and they do fall on it this time at the 35-yard line. Looks like Jordan Brake covers the ball for the Knights. Nice play by Jordan.
Jordan, a sophomore. He's playing a little bit of quarterback now for the JV team. He's replacing Tony Welch, who was hurt during one of the junior varsity games. And Jordan led the Knights to a victory last week. They won 6-0.
All right, huge series for the Knights. They really need to get something on the board being down 2 scores.
3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Johnson calling the play. Bubble screen out to Hayden Welch and breaks one tackle, and that's what he can do. And he's just short of a first down. He might have one, just depending on the spot.
It looks like he's a little bit, well, you know what? It's right on the line. The Knights had the ball right on the 35, so that has to be a first down. And it looks like they are moving the chains.
And if the deep threat and the quick slant's not working for the Knights, they do like to throw that bubble screen out to Hayden, and he just uses his quickness and athleticism to make something happen, and he does. And he gets a first down. Pitch left side to Sanforduro, makes a man miss across midfield, and he's brought down at the 46-yard line.
You know, we've seen the Knights score so many points this year. We know with 2.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, they have plenty of time. It's just a matter of whether they believe they have plenty of time. When you're not used to being in this situation, it's kind of hard just to be patient, especially when you're 15, 16, 17 years old.
Spot again. Double pass, double pass.
3 receivers out, and they'll give it to Sanforduro, and he might have a first down.
Looks like
I think he does. Yep.
Yeah, once again, they were right on the 45, and now they're on the Titan 45, so that would have to be 10 yards and a first down. And so far, I haven't seen them move the chain, but you would, there you go. I would think 45 to 45 would be 10 yards if the field's been marked off correctly. Hey, that was good to see Sammy protect the ball on that last run.
Let's see if they go back to him. And instead, they'll throw.
Hayden tripped up on the play.
Johnson.
Looked like Hayden got tackled.
Oh, wow, what a play by Luke Johnson.
He's still up. He's protecting the ball, putting his head down. What a great play. That is a huge leadership play. Yeah, that is a huge leadership, but you're dead on, Jared. Hayden was the intended receiver. Got tripped up. Looked like the guy from the Titans actually was beat and just kind of fell over and grabbed his leg, but no call. So Luke did a good job of making lemonade out of lemons there. A great job.
Got his helmet knocked off. He's calling the play even without it on. Great. Luke is one tough kid, I'll tell you.
He is.
As he gets his helmet back on.
Colin Young in motion. You know, Colin can catch the ball as a tight end. We might see him catch one over the middle pretty soon.
And there's Sam. He's brought down just shy of the 20 to about the 21-yard line.
Looks like we've got a Titan. Might be shaking up on the play, getting up a little slow. Is that number 23, Jared?
I believe that is. We're at 22.
Oh, actually 27, one of the running backs.
Jack Kaiser.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose him. You know, the Knights right now, so far in this drive, are doing exactly what we said they needed to do. They're showing a lot of maturity. They're willing to take the shorter plays, methodically move the ball down the field. We'll see if they can finish it.
Give to Sam once again. Finds a hole up the middle. Keeps moving his feet.
Great to see 2 hands around the ball again by Sammy. Doing a much better job. Knights are knocking them off the ball. We see every play. There's a Titan that's getting up slowly. This time it's number 54, another two-way player for the Titans. So if the Knights can keep their poise and finish this drive, you know, they may be pretty happy at the end of the evening.
And I guarantee you that is the main thing that Coach Donmeyer stressed to all of his backs is to cover that ball up.
Boy, nice hit by the Titans that time. Looks like the tackler is shaken up. Looks like Sammy Fraturo is shaken up. They're both getting up very slowly. That was number 27 again. The guy who was just hurt made a great hit for the Titans. Looks like that might be the end of the third quarter.
And I believe that will be. So, the end of the third quarter, Notre Dame up 10-0 over FCA. Now let's go down to the sideline with our reporter, Jack Davidson.
fascinating cat and mouse game here to start the fourth quarter. Portsmouth Notre Dame has been doing everything they can to take Hayden Welch out of the ball game, doing short kickoffs, kicking away from him, double teaming. FCA on the other hand has been putting Hayden in the slot, trying to run another receiver on the other on Hayden's side to try to get him open. We'll see how it happens and what takes place here. Start of the fourth quarter. Notre Dame leads 10-0. Back to you guys.
FCA on LSN. FCA on LSN. Brought to you in part by
Discover your promise in academics, in athletics, or in theater at Ohio University Lancaster and Pickerington. Online at lancaster.ohiou.edu.
Thompson Concrete, a full-service concrete company. Online at thompsonconcrete.com.
Roger Weaver and the Weaver Law offices online at weaver-law.com.
Fairfield Christian Church, located near the River Valley Mall in Lancaster, online at fairfieldcc.com.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Welcome back to the start of the fourth quarter. 2nd down and 8 for the Knights. Johnson on a bootleg, going to keep it himself. He's got some speed. And a nice hit at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Hayden Welch made a great block. And again, we've got a Titan down who's not getting up. Going to stop the clock here, the officials are. It looks like that's number 27 again for Notre Dame.
Jack Kaser.
That guy has been involved in big collisions the last 3 plays.
He's also one of their running backs, one of the two-headed beasts for the Titans, and Jacob Milani and Jack Kaser, and still down on the ground. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, another thing we have to give the Titans credit for, they like Fairfield Christian Academy, a smaller Division VI school. They have a ton of guys playing both ways.
It's actually number 8, Race Oberlin.
Yeah, you're right. We had the wrong number there. I had the wrong number there. That was a great blindside block by Hayden Welch. But the Titans have a lot of kids playing both ways, and they really have shown a lot of courage tonight, great effort tonight. You really have to tip your cap to them.
Yes, danger this side now.
So it'll be about 3rd and 2. And if you were in this situation, what would you do?
Well, it looks like they're in a power formation. It looks like they're going to let Sammy do it and see if we can block for him.
Get to Fraturo. Rumbles ahead.
You know what? I think he ran through the pile. Touchdown, Knights.
Great job by Sam Fraturo to keep his legs moving, not taken down, and a great job to get in there for the Knights' first score of the night. 6-10. Notre Dame still leads with the extra point pending.
The Knights did everything I talked about in the 3rd quarter that they needed to do on offense. They did on that drive. It looks like they might be wearing the Titans down a little bit, but they showed a lot of poise in that drive. We're going to give them a lot of credit. We'll see if Hayden can convert here and get him within a field goal.
Now, here's a Welch for the extra point.
Bobbled.
And bobbled the hole. That was Luke Johnson.
Yeah.
So extra point no good. So it'll be 6-10. Knights down 4 to the Notre Dame Titans.
Well, this will be a huge special teams play. We've talked about it. The Knights have not been good on special teams. They've been especially bad at covering kickoffs. And what they really can't afford here is to let the Titans run the ball back beyond midfield and then have to go, again, even if they stop them, then they're going a long field, 80, 90 yards.
Let's go down to Jack Davidson on the sideline.
Race Oberling is a player injured for Portsmouth Notre Dame on that vicious hit by Luke Johnson as Luke gained another 5 yards. Race looks okay. They're checking the inside of his mouth to see if he has a cut. He might be back in. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jack. Welch about to kick off.
Can the Knights cover a kick? They really have not covered a kick in the last 2 games effectively.
And a little pooch
they're
kick.
They're going to squib it, yeah.
Fielded by an up back and brought down. See, that was Tyler Stevens, with the stop and just short of midfield.
Yeah, about the 43-yard line.
Excuse me, I was looking at the wrong spot.
You know, you almost wonder if you're going to do that. You almost wonder if you would rather just kick it out of bounds. I'll have to admit I'm ignorant. I'm not sure whether the opposing team would get it on the 40 or the 45, but if they would get it on the 40, if you can't cover kicks better than that, you almost want to kick it out of bounds.
So
number 22.
Michael Mader, that's number 22, Jacob Milani on the carry.
The Knights have really tightened up defensively. Really, since the first quarter, they've done a pretty good job defensively. They just haven't been able to possess it offensively until that last drive.
That was Joey Gall in on the play to stop Milani. This will be 2nd down and 9. Two receivers split out wide left. Kevin Lewis being one of them. Give to Milani up the middle, and he is down at about midfield.
Yeah, he runs really hard, just like Sammy kept his legs running for the Knights. He did too. He almost broke free. So huge down, 3rd and about along 2 for the Titans, and you wonder, they may even go for it on 4th down, depending upon what happens here. So huge for both teams.
3rd down and 3. Expect Milani to get the ball.
I do.
He's been their power runner thus far in the ball game. And he does. He'll go right up the middle, get the first down and more. To the 30, and 25, 20.
And Hayden is trying to tackle the ball. Again, not a play you want to make. Tackle the player.
Penalty flag.
All kinds of flags. Probably a face mask on the Knights.
That's what I was going to say.
And again, that's just a play you don't need to make. You have almost 10 minutes to go in the game. There's no reason to go for the ball. Tackling, see if they can kick a long field goal. Even if they make a field goal and a touchdown and an extra point will tie the game.
9:47 remaining in the ball game after a nice run by Jacob Milani.
Yeah, and then with the penalty, they're going to have the ball, it looks like inside the 10-yard line. Nope, about the 13-yard line. The Knights have to force a field goal here. I just don't think they can afford to go down 2 scores again.
They'll line up 2 men side by side in the backfield. Milani trying to run the option, keep himself up the middle, and gets a couple. Brian Miller on the play, Zach Sullivan and Bobby Fraturo in on it as well.
It's like 2nd and about 7. Actually, you know what? They're inside the 10, 2nd and 6 for a touchdown. I didn't realize they were actually inside the 10 on the last play. So this is 2nd and goal.
Give to Milani up the middle,
right
and
up
gets
the middle.
Stuffed.
Looks like a fumble. The Knights have the ball, and they do. What a break.
Zach Sullivan in on the play, gets the fumble recovery, and that's exactly what Coach Dave Dobmeyer and the Knights needed.
Yeah, that's what they needed. And again, here they are about 94 yards away. They have almost 9 minutes. They have plenty of time. If they get a big play, obviously that's great, but we'll see if they can move it down the field and show patience as they did on the last drive.
And this times like this, when it's good to have a senior quarterback in Luke Johnson. He's been great over his 4 years of play.
The Knights actually have a great matchup at the top there with Nick Spurgis. But they're going to go the other direction.
Hayden Welch. Oh, wow.
It looked like the ball went right through Hayden's hands. He was well covered by Lewis, as he has been all night, but it looked like a catchable ball. And I tell you what, if you look the other way, the Knights had Nick Spurgis one-on-one with number 13 for the Titans. Nick probably has, and that may have been Colin Young, but whichever one it was, they're much, much bigger than the defender there. If they're going to try a big play, they had a huge advantage on that side of the field. It's certainly hard to go away from Hayden.
Yeah, definitely.
But when he's got 2 guys on him, maybe you can afford to look the other way.
Second down and 10. Luke Johnson goes under center. They're going to draw play to Sammy.
Ferturo looks like he got about 5 or 6, just beyond the 10-yard line. Big third down here. Looks like 3rd and almost 6. I thought he got a little more than that, but apparently not.
It'll be about 3rd and 5 now for the Knights. Clock running, 8:25 remaining in the ball game. And draw play up the middle.
Ferturo actually got hit in the backfield, but broke the tackle, and he looks like he did get a first down. Very nice run by Sammy, and again, we see a Titan slow to get up, just as we did in the last series, and it's number 54, who we also saw in the last series getting up slowly.
Austin Bourne.
Austin Bourne, an offensive lineman who's probably played just about every snap tonight for the Titans.
He plays tackle both offensively and defensively, so I'm sure he is very, very tired. So it'll be first down and 10 after that nice run by Sam Ferturo. Johnson looking to pass, and Colin Young was the intended receiver.
Yeah, and that's the matchup we talked about. Colin on number 13. Colin's a much bigger kid. It looked like there might have been contact there, but I suppose the officials must have thought both guys were going for the ball and didn't throw the flag.
Second down and 10 after the incompletion.
You know, just the same spot they were in on the last series. Threw it on first down, incomplete, and then had to have 2 tough runs.
And they're
and once again, we go back to Sam on a delay. Not there this time.
Trying to fool the Titans. They had Hayden Welch out looking like he was going to get the bubble screen, but Sam got the ball.
Nice tackle by number 34, Brad Piron, maybe, for the Titans. Really nice play from his defensive end position. 3rd and 11 for the Knights, obviously with 7 minutes to go, a little over 7 minutes, really big play. The Knights do have a tendency to go Hayden. Well, let's see what they do here.
They put the safety over top the cornerback.
Yeah.
And Johnson looking for a man. And he's got it.
Other way, and that's the matchup we've been wanting.
Spurgis.
Nick makes a really nice catch on the play. The ball slightly behind, but a pretty good throw. And Nick made a really nice catch, a really nice play. I really think that's a great matchup for the Knights.
I mean, definitely. I mean, they brought the safety over, which meant double coverage on Hayden Welch, which frees up Spurgis, frees up Tony when he comes out. And that's you're right, that's the matchup the Knights really need right now.
And now they've got Colin Young being guarded by that same guy. And then again, Colin's just a lot bigger kid.
They have Hayden Welch streaking down the right side. He's open and almost makes a fingertip catch.
Yeah, it looked like another ball that really was catchable. That was a pretty nice throw by Luke. I tell you, the one thing, though, that does scare me a little bit is 3 series in a row the Knights have thrown the ball on first down and not gotten a completion, and then they've had to make a clutch 3rd down play. I'd like to see them run a little safer play on first down to get a more manageable 2nd and 3rd down. But again, you've got Hayden.
Yep.
He was open. It was a pretty well thrown ball. If he catches it, then everybody's happy.
Second down and 10 after the incompletion. Both Welch brothers. And Luke in the backfield throws it away. Almost intercepted.
Oh, I tell you what, a nice play by Luke just to get rid of the ball, to not take a sack. That would have been disastrous for the Knights. But again, throwing on first down, if it's incomplete, really puts the pressure on 2nd and 3rd down. So once again, the Knights have a 3rd and long. It looks like number 34 for the Titans is going to have to come off the field.
That's Piron once again, Brad Piron.
You know, you get the feeling, I do, that if the Knights would be a little more patient, run the ball on first down, the Titans are just so, it looks like they're so tired that it looks like maybe you could get some plays, but we'll see. 3rd and 10, they've come up with 2 clutch 3rd down conversions so far.
6-10 still your score. Notre Dame.
Hayden's actually got one-on-one coverage this time. There goes Tony Welch. Tony just not strong enough. If the play pops, it can be a big play, but Tony just not strong enough to break a tackle. So here we are, 4th down. It looks like the Knights are probably going to have to kick. They still have 6 minutes to go. They still have, I believe, all 3 of their timeouts. So I would think they would go ahead and punt the ball here, but Coach Dobbenmeyer is very aggressive. He may go for it, and the way they're coming out of the huddle, they are going to go for it. Now we've got Nick Spurgis. We've got Nick Spurgis one-on-one at the bottom here. Oh, Hayden Welch moved before the snap.
Now
this might force a kick here. It looks like it is going to force a kick. And you know what? That might be the best thing that could have happened to the Knights. If they don't convert there on 4th down, that would have been tough anyway. They still have, again, almost 6 minutes. If they can hold them, they'll get the ball back. If they get a decent punt off here, they may have decent field position for the first time in a long time.
So that means Zach Sullivan will come out to punt the ball.
Good snap. Good kick. Nice and high.
Fair catch called at the 37-yard line. So that's where Michael Mader will come out and lead the Titan offense. Today's 4th quarter is brought to you by Fairfield Mini Storage, the place to store your personal or business goods in a clean, dry unit within a gated facility. They have outside storage for RVs and boats, and they are Lancaster storage for Penske truck rentals. Fairfield Mini Storage is located at 2230 East Main Street in Lancaster, or you can find them on the web at ffministorage.com.
All right, Jared, we've got 5:48 to go in the ball game. Let's see what the Knights defense can do. Let's see what the Titans offense can do. You'd think they'd run it up the middle as they've been doing most of the half.
He'll give it to the fullback. That's Kaser.
Looks like he got about 3. So not a bad first down. The Titans are running the clock. Really, if they just get a couple of first downs, it's really going to put the Knights in a bind. Even if the Knights can get a force a punt, it's going to really run a lot of clock. It's going to make the Knights have to go a long way in a short amount of time. Let's see what happens.
Snap to Mader, gives it to Milani. And a nice run. He's brought down around the 43-yard line. So
yeah,
about
looks like
3rd down and 4.
Looks like he might be right on the 44. So yeah, 3rd and 4, huge play for both teams.
Can we sneak it back out, guys? Come on.
You see Coach Dave talking to his quarterback Luke, and the task that's going to be ahead of him on the next offensive series.
Power formation, they run a sweep, and he gets the first down and a lot more.
It's Milani on the carry, and he is brought down around the 44-yard line.
Yeah.
First down and 10.
Jared, as I continue to beat a dead horse, 4 minutes to go. Even if the Knights hold them on the next 3 plays, they're probably going to get the ball inside their own 20 with 2.5 minutes to go, depending upon how they use their timeouts. So Titans definitely in a good position here.
Two receivers to the bottom of your screen for the Titans.
Looks like the Titans offensive line moved. No flag.
No call. Give to Milani. He's rumbling ahead. Still going, kind of first down, and the Knights trying to tackle Jacob Milani high. You just can't do that. I mean, he's too big.
Yeah, in fact, one of the Knights just kind of rolled into him, didn't even put his arms around him. It looks like what we were talking about with the Titans last series, getting a little bit tired. It looks like the Knights are the team that's a little bit tired right now.
Knights have to go for Milani's legs, and that's the only way you're going to bring him down.
Yeah, they've run up the middle quite a bit, the Titans. The last couple of plays, they've run out wide, and it's been pretty effective. Zach Sullivan for the Knights has a tendency to go way out wide from his defensive end position and allow the runner to run underneath him. I know he's trying to force it back into his linebackers and linemen, but sometimes it looks like he goes a little bit too wide.
Give to Milani. He gets a couple yards.
And here we are, almost 3 minutes to go in the ball game. And again, the Knights do have all 3 timeouts. I wonder if they'll start using those. We'll see if they get a good stop here. Maybe they'll use a timeout on 3rd down.
10-6 still your score here in Portsmouth, Ohio. Notre Dame over the Knights.
I don't know what, there was a delay there. The clock continues to run.
Give Milani up the middle.
All right, the Knights do use a timeout. So 2:38 to go in the ball game. 3rd and about. A long 3, short 4 for the Titans. Another huge play.
And the Knights are going to take a timeout. And that'll give us time to thank our crew tonight from the FCA media team. On camera, we have Joe McCoy, Jeremy Hall, Austin Starkey, and Cassie Sugar. And back in the trailer, Josh Hamill, Caleb Kandra, and Dane Alexander, and JT Burcham, the media teacher for Fairfield Christian, the man who makes this all happen. A big thank you to everyone on the crew. I'm Jared Camp alongside Mr. Rob Bowler. You're watching FCA football on LSN. So it's going to be about 3rd and 4 for Notre Dame. Expect Milani to get the ball again, keep the clock going.
Yeah. You know what you wonder, though, Jared, as much as he's gotten the ball, if they would play action to him and hit the tight end or throw it out in the flat, it could be wide open for the Titans. It could be a game breaker. The other thing is that with this only being 3rd down and with the Titans being on the 25-yard line of the Knights, this is probably 4-down territory for them. So the Knights don't just have to stop them on 1 play. They have to stop them on 2 plays.
So everybody's set on 3rd down and 4. 2 men in the backfield. Mater goes under center. And they'll give to Milani, and he gets stopped, but rumbles ahead. That second effort really gained a lot.
Another timeout for the Knights. Yeah, they had him pushed back, but they didn't wrap up. They just kind of chest bumped. The Knights weren't able to get their arms around him, and he did a great job, as he's been doing the whole game, of getting an extra yard or 2. Looks like 4th and about 1.5 yards. And really, because the Knights have used 2 of their 3 timeouts, this really pretty much is the game for both teams. If he gets a 1st down here, they're pretty much going to be able to run out the clock.
4th down and 2, and they're going to call a timeout. The biggest play of the year for the Knights coming up.
Yeah, and once again, I don't, it certainly would take a lot of guts on the part of the Titans to do it, but if they would run a play action right here,
that would be wide open. I guarantee it.
It might be. It might be. So we'll see how disciplined the Knights are if they do something like that. You have to believe, as we've said the whole second half, that they're going to give it to their workhorse, number 22, Milani. He's been able to get a couple of yards most of the time. If he gets a couple of yards here, it would be a great victory for Notre Dame on homecoming.
The Knights are trying to keep their high rankings alive. They're 18th in the state, 3rd in their region.
And I believe they're also first in the Columbus Dispatch Central Ohio poll.
Central Ohio, yep.
A lot riding on the line here. We'll see what happens.
4th down and 2. Give to Milani.
He gets hit, but he's continuing to work forward.
And
we'll see how they spot the ball.
Everybody up here saying he got it.
Yeah, it looks like he got a pretty good spot. Looks like where they put the ball down, it looks like he has the first down, but they're going to bring out the chains and
just to make sure.
We'll see.
And I think you're right. I do believe he has the first down. The Knights saying he didn't get it.
The Knights don't think he got it, and the referees agree with them.
Oh,
so here we are, 2:25 left to go in the game, and the Knights have another opportunity.
Let's go down to Jack Davidson on the sideline quickly.
FCA defense held that last time, but that was a very generous spot by the linesman. Biggest play of the year and biggest drive of the year for FCA. Back to you guys.
And just as Jack stops talking, intercepted Luke Johnson, and right back the ball goes to Notre Dame.
You know, he was intending to throw the ball to Hayden. He got hit, so it was underthrown. Hayden was right there. For some reason, he stopped coming towards the ball and allowed the defender cut in front of him. What a great play by the Titans.
That was number 5, Brendan Hoover, on the interception.
Yeah, what a nice play. What a nice play. The number 5 for the Titans willing to stick his head in there as Hayden was moving towards the ball, and what a great play for them.
The Knights need to stand tall now if they want to keep their undefeated season alive. Give to Milani. He goes right side, gets about 3 or 4.
Yeah, it looks like unless they turn the ball over, the Titans, that this game is just about mathematically over with one timeout. We'll see. The Knights can stop at one time.
You know, crazier things have happened.
Yeah, obviously a first down for the Titans, and the game is mathematically over, you know, assuming they don't turn it over. Good hit by the Knights.
And that's Milani, the ball carrier.
And the Knights used their last timeout.
There's a Joey Gall in on the tackle.
Yeah, Bobby Ferturo. A lot of Knights in on the play there.
We'd like to thank all of our sponsors tonight: Service Master Clean, Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield Christian Church, Roger Weaver Law Offices, Fairfield Mini Storage, Ohio University Lancaster and Pickerington campuses, and Focus Consulting, Redeemer Lutheran Church, and Thompson Concrete. So now it'll be 3rd down and 7. Knights have their no more timeouts. So everybody set on 3rd down and 7. The give. It's Milani once again. And now let's go to Jack Davidson down on the sideline.
If Notre Dame wins this ball game, they've played extremely well, good blocking. It's been a good played ball game on both sides. Notre Dame would certainly deserve to win if they win, but FCA has to keep their heads up. They still have 1:10 to go, 4th and 1. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jack. Milani was about a yard short on his 3rd down run, so that will bring up 4th down and 1.
Looks like the Titans are going to let the clock run down and call timeout. And they do. So 56 seconds left in the ball game. I think we were here just a couple of minutes ago, weren't we, Jared? 4th and 1, an opportunity for the Titans to seal the game. And here we are again. Now, if the Knights can hold them, they will get the ball back with about a minute because the clock stops. If the 4th down is not made, the clock will stop on the change of possession. The Knights will have about 50 seconds and they'll be about 70 yards away if they can hold them on this play.
Knights don't have any more timeouts, so they will have to get out of bounds quickly. Granted, they have to make the stop on 4th down.
You know, I just want to say, before we see the outcome of this game, the Knights have had a great run under Coach Dobbenmeyer. They've won 13 regular season games in a row. This is only their 3rd year in existence as an Ohio high school football team. So they've done great. They've come through. They've had a tremendous run. It would be a great victory for them to come back. It would also be a great victory for the Titans again on their homecoming night. So all riding on this play, 4th and 1.
Give to Milani, and he rumbles ahead.
He's got the first down. Yeah,
and
you know, the Knights on the last couple of plays, they are not putting a defensive lineman down on that right side, the right side of the Titan line, the left side of the Knight line, and that's where they've been attacking. They do have linebackers back there, the Knights do, and they're obviously shooting the gaps as soon as the ball snapped. But for some reason, they're not putting a down lineman there on the left side of their defense, the right side of the Titan offensive line, and that's where they've been attacking the Knights.
So your score with 52 seconds remaining, Notre Dame over FCA 10-6. The Titans scored on a 1-yard run by Jacob Milani, and then added a field goal on top of that. And the Knights' only touchdown came from a short touchdown run by Sammy Faturo, and there's some question whether or not Milani got the first down, but he did.
Yeah, he did. Looks like he got it by half a football. So all the Titans have to do is snap the ball 2 times, take a knee, and the game's over.
So it'll be 1st down and 10.
And we've got a victory formation here. And actually, you know what? They only have to snap the ball 1 time because the clock was stopped on a 1st down. So really, once it gets under 35 seconds, they snap it, put a knee, the clock will run out.
Notre Dame just going to let the clock roll down to seal their victory.
Well, again, we'll give credit to the Knights. What a disciplined game. Their special teams paid off. They made a field goal. They had the nice opening kickoff return inside the Knight 10-yard line. They punched it in 2 plays from there. And then the Knights had the turnover to start the second half on the kickoff. So Coach Dobbenmeyer showing some sportsmanship, going over and shaking the hands of the Titan coaches. And it'll be a bitter pill for the Knights, but you know what? It's a long season. Sports are supposed to teach certain things, life lessons. Hopefully the Knights, what it'll teach them is you've got to do things the right way. You can't count on the big play. You can't count on just ripping the ball away on defense. There are certain things that fundamentally that you just have to do to beat a well-prepared team, and the Titans were a well-prepared team.
So with this victory, Notre Dame will go to 4-1 on the season. The Knights fall to 4-1. Knights will travel to Miller High School, a little bit of a closer game next week, and try to go 5-1. Mr. Bowler, your final thoughts on tonight's game?
Well, it's pretty much, Jared, what we just talked about. You know, again, we're going to give a lot of credit to the Titans tonight. So many kids playing both ways. They only dressed 25 players tonight. They probably only played about 15 of those, counting special teams. So they made the plays when they had to. They showed a lot of toughness tonight. And again, hopefully the Knights will get better from this and be better prepared to play as they go through the rest of their season.
So your final score here at Spartan Municipal Stadium, the Notre Dame Titans 10 over the FCA Knights, who have a score of 6. As for the FCA media team, Rob Bowler, I'm Jared Camp. Thank you for watching FCA football on LSN.
weight loss, it's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
FCA on LSN.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.
Thanks for watching FCA on LSN.